Hey guys, welcome back. Drip Coach here with Drip and Farm for Poverty, where we don't trust, we verify, and operate with integrity and transparency. Today, doing the portfolio update. So, if you've been following along, you know that well over 6 months ago, created a portfolio to track basically what assets to purchase and how that portfolio would perform based at that time in the cycle and where we are now. So, I try to do it. I don't do a video. I was doing a video every week, but I do come in here and retroactively add the transactions for a weekly dollar cost average. So it's not every day, but it's not every day of the same week. I still said that wrong. Same day of each week. So it's like not every Friday or every Thursday or Saturday, but I do come in here and make sure that there is a purchase for that amount for each calendar week, so to speak. So just to show you, because it's easier to see just one token at a time. You'll see these go all the way back to, let's put it all on one page here. Starting this back in November 16th. So this is when we had the first BTC rally post-election, and I think BTC jumped all the way up to 100K. We hadn't seen that before in its cycle. No, it didn't get the 100K there by the night, but it did skyrocket and then chop sideways. So you can see that this approach does allow you to catch the different amounts of BTC. So you're buying some highs, you're buying some lows. But that's all purposeful in regards to tokens that actually have a use case and a utility and been proven, such as Bitcoin, which all goes back to Raoul Pal's Don't Fuck This Up framework, which is why I titled that portfolio with the same moniker. Because there's so many tokens that you can be allocated to, and I'm going to show that when we go to the Degen top 100 alt portfolio. But the problem is you don't know where you're buying in the cycle. Yes, we have these market cycles historically that we've seen where, based off of liquidity injections and central banks rolling the debt, you'll see BTC pump, and then the money from that rolls down into large caps, and then from large caps into mids and smalls into memes, and then back out into cash, and then that repeats. But just because that's the cycle doesn't mean that the token you have in that cycle will actually pump. Case in point, let's go back real quick. Those holding ETH are just now starting to see some profits. But man, ETH has been kicking everybody's ass for quite some time, and it has not reclaimed its all-time highs from 2021 at 47 and some change, 46 and some change. The highest we got this cycle was right at 4 back in November. So if you are waiting around for this typical crypto cycle, you don't know when your token in that cycle will pump. So we're coming up on almost 4 years, and other assets have pumped higher than their previous all-time highs, like BNB, for example. That's one that I currently hold, and that is a top 10 all. So it hit its new all-time high earlier this year, or last year, December 24th. And the previous all-time high for that was in the last cycle, like other tokens. So the point I'm getting at is that you don't know where your token will fall in that cycle, and you could be holding forever and ever. Amen. Matter of fact, BNB broke its previous cycle high multiple times in this cycle in 2024. So at least for that one, if you bought the top 4 years ago, you weren't waiting around as long, whereas ETH people are still waiting. Even Solana's in the same boat. So the whole point I'm trying to drive home is that yes, you can gamble on alts, but you never know where they're going to be at. Okay, so I'm wrong. Solana did peak back out. So that just proves that, yeah, you won't know what you got in your portfolio. Even if you do your own research, you have no idea how it will shape up and when you'll see some gains in that. So that's why, again, Raoul Pal says, don't fuck this up. 80% in the top alts. And for him, that is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and now if you're higher on the risk curve, you can do SUI. So in this portfolio specifically, what I did, I've been doing $100 a week, $50 into BTC, $30 into Solana, $10 into SUI, 5 into Doge, and 5 into smoking chicken fish. And when we look at the results here, Monday, July 21st, if I was in BTC only, I'd be up 29.5%, but my portfolio is up 20, so not bad. So remember, you're giving up some of the guaranteed price appreciation from Bitcoin, putting it into some of these other alts because you believe they will pump more than Bitcoin. And again, back to what I was saying before, you have to wait for the cycle to play itself out. to see if that does indeed hold true. So at least for right now, this portfolio is doing fine, even though at other parts, it was wrecked against BTC. So like down here, it was down 23% and BTC was only down 5. So holding BTC, dollar cost averaging into it, is clearly the best long-term strategy, especially if you're not trying to trade. Now let's go ahead and take a look over here at the Degen portfolio that I created following virtual bacon strategy. So this was purchasing in one go. Actually, I did it twice. Some of the top 100, and I think I even went over to the top 200 because I did some numbers and looked at how they performed in the last cycle, where they were at, how far down they were, market adoption, things of that nature. I was like, okay, these should be some good ones to buy into. But this portfolio is still completely wrecked against Bitcoin, starting to come back up and get to a break-even point. So right now it's only down 9%. There was a total of $3,000 put into this, and that was real money that I put in. And it's sitting on Binance in a spot holder. So the goal for me with this was to buy different alts, and then I have sell orders for what I think will be take profit allocations within these different alts. But none of them, I take that back, some of them may be performing better than when I bought them, but due to the whole weighting of the portfolio being all alts, the whole thing is down against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's up at that 28%, 27, 28%, and this portfolio is down 10, we'll call it. So, and this is showing it's actually more than 10 because there's $3,000 total in here. So that's closer to 30%, to be honest. But regardless, back to what I was stating, you never know where your tokens will pump in the cycle. Here is an actual snapshot of the tokens I purchased on Binance. So this is my assets, and it shows you the purchase price that I got them at. It doesn't show you the amount, I kept that out, but you can see that like Bitcoin, I got a 75. Cardano, the average price I was showing you guys when I bought that, it's 36. And this is actually not up to date. This is, I think, 2 weeks ago. Cardano is currently like 80 something, if I'm not mistaken. Let's pull that. But I'm showing you this just to show you that not everything is up to 89, so not too bad. Sui bought at $1. My average buy price for that was $1.91. Amino X, I'm down. So the ones that are in red, I'm actually down. That's why the red bar is there. BTTC is so small that it doesn't show that. But IMX, I'm below. ETH still down. I think now it's up, right? 34, and now it's at 37 again. Is that right? Yeah, 37. So that one's doing better. AVAX, I think that one's up as well. So I made this picture, like I said, about 2 weeks ago from my Bitcoin or my Binance portfolio. And it just goes to show you that depending on where we're at in the cycle, you may have to hold on to those alts for a long time while everybody else is seeing gains. So this goes back to the don't round trip your bags kind of ideology, especially if they're alts. Maybe some of the top alts you can get away with, but again, even BNB, I was sitting on that, and that drew down like 40%, 50% in the last cycle. So at this stage, my maturity in this and understanding how things play out, I'm just all about dollar cost averaging and holding Bitcoin, never selling your Bitcoin. And then once I get these alts sold, they will rotate into Bitcoin, and I'll just hold that. I'll keep some cash. Like I still have buy orders to buy the dip on Bitcoin, but man, lessons learned. Don't chase community cult shit token projects. Don't chase memes. It's okay to gamble on them, but I'm showing you in real time how these portfolios get affected. And basically, if you've been gambling on memes and alts, maybe you got lucky, but I'm showing you how the ones I picked, which are solid use case, top 100, top 50 in some cases, and it's still 7 months, I'm down. So if I had to put all that into Bitcoin, I'd be doing much better. So there's so many tokens to choose from that you're just gambling. So that's why, again, Raoul Pal, don't fuck this up. 80-20 rule is the absolute, in my humble opinion, strategy. I mean, you can go more weighted into more risks, 70-30, 60-40, whatever the case may be. But just be aware, like me showing you this in real time, that you do not know when and if the tokens you chose will actually see a pump in this bull run. And that was a quote Raoul Pal said. He's like, we're in a bull run. Like, there's a lot of people I've seen in chats and in different groups that I'm in. They're like, oh, we're not in a bull run. It's like, no, the token you picked, the shitty token community project you picked, is not in a bull run. We are in a bull run. Like, Bitcoin has made new all-time highs. Other alts have made new all-time highs. You can look at the charts and zoom out and see we are in a bull run. But if you pick shitty tokens because you followed some dumbass influencer, then you got wrecked, or you're waiting to make profits, you know? So that's why DYOR, and again, 80-20 to me is the best common sense way forward. I mean, unless you got more gambling money or you're just a huge risk taker. But I got wrecked last cycle, and I have not made anywhere near the amount of money back that I lost in the last cycle. So rule number one, don't lose your tokens or your coins. All right, smash the HBO special, help a brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below. Until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.